We have who else? Nas was out there.
Right.
Toilet Kweli has been out there for a while. My sister Edmana Fighter Rosa Clemente has been out there from scratch. She's been in Ferguson. Actually, she herself was on a couple of shows, political shows, doing her thing. I'm so impressed with her and so proud of what she does. And then we have, some other folks that we want to see them, but we don't, but they are doing some stuff in the background. Should we hold them accountable for not being vocal?
I think because of the influence, we should. Because,
hold on. Go ahead.
Because of the influence, they should be held accountable because when they speak, people listen. So, I think they should say something. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be every day. And it's good that they're involved in some kind of way. Even if they're not speaking out, but I think just the influence that they have, would make a difference.
What do you, and I want to ask both of you this, what do you both need to see happen to make you think that we are making some kind of progress?
As far as like politically or?
As it relates to what we're having to face with now. I started writing my next blog, and this week, like by Friday, I was exhausted, and I kept saying, I have fighting a cold, but then I realized I'm emotionally drained from all of this. It's so, for us who are really in the trenches and really wanting to see something happen, it's painful, it's exhausting to every day get up and see what's going on or see what's not going on, worry about, I have to worry about my nephew, my brother, Kenyatta, the men that I know, Hassan. Like, we're having to worry because some of the cases have nothing to do with anything bad going down. When you think about the 12-year-old Tamir Rice in a playground,
right.
Like 12 years old, you could have figured that out a little better.
I saw that video, and honestly, I saw it, and he was walking he's walking back and forth on the sidewalk, and he's playing with the gun, the BB gun, and he's cocking it. So if you're looking at the video, it looks like a real gun, But at the same time, when the police get there, they roll up, they pull up beside him, they shoot, because I can see him fall. And so before they get out the car, he's already dead by the time they get out the car. So I don't even think they said, put your hands up, drop the gun, freeze, anything like that. They just started shooting. And, I think it's not really about the training as far as, the way they're trained, because it really comes down to you as a person. When those situations arise, are you going to panic? How do you handle that situation as a person? So they can be trained to handle something a certain way. I think that comes down to them as people.
Yeah, the fight or flight, your own personal threat, but how do you want this situation to, do you shoot to kill or do you shoot to hurt?
Right.
And then, take it from there. I haven't been strong enough to watch that video, but I finally watched the second part of the Eric Gardner piece. And I started crying because you saw the EMTs come and all these officers that are around him, and no one gave CPR. That to me was absolutely painful. And they're asking him, are you okay? Are you okay? And he's like, not breathing. It's like, which part of you are trained to give CPR? So what do you need to see, Sadie? And then Hassan, I also want to ask you, what do you need to see to feel that we're making some kind of progress?
I would say one is, this is so important, in the school system, judicial, throughout all the system. I want to see more of a cultural training, and for these people to, the majority who are white, for them to have some type of training on understanding who we are as people of color. I feel like there's a lack of understanding on who we are, and so therefore we're marginalized and we're targeted because of the way we dress, because of the way we looked. We're dehumanized. Darren Wilson dehumanizing Michael Brown after killing him. I feel like there's a lack of understanding as who we are as people, and, I think politically that it's gonna continue to be that way if we as the people too don't look into these policies and laws and if they're really being implemented. You know, the woman who called in from Colombia, she said they're not implementing the law for the land or the people. And so I think that's the same issue we're having here. And that what brought my mind was a friend of mine made a post, Renee, and she just brought a reminder about the Declaration of Independence, which says, whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power and form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. So I think as a people, we need to make sure that, politically, they're doing what they're supposed to for us as a people and not treating us like animals. And if we have to, just crushing the system and creating our own.
Yeah. Well, Franz Fanon said we needed to shake everything up for it to start off, right.
I think, like, I'm really to the point where it's like, I don't even feel like there's really nothing else to say to them. You know, this has been going on for so long. Like, it's obvious that we're not even really considered. You know what I mean? So it's like Sadie just said, like, we really have to focus on ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, there's really no need for us to continue to try to follow a system that, for years has just been, taking advantage of us.
Yeah.
And not giving us the respect that we deserve as individuals, as human beings. Yeah. And I just feel like I don't really know, what to say to them anymore, because anything I can say has already been said, and they're still doing the same thing. So, you have Obama, who has, executive order, I believe is what they call it, and he can overrule or, make his own decisions. But I feel like with these cases, like this is when he needed to use that.
Yeah.
Because these people who are selecting these juries, who are supposed to be prosecuting these police officers, they're not going to do it, because you think if you have a prosecutor, right, and you're prosecuting a police officer who probably made it possible for you to become a prosecutor. He has these arrests, and he's bringing you cases, and you're winning these cases. Then how are you really gonna? That's your friend. That's somebody who helps you get to where you are.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna.
Let me get Hassan, and then I'll come back to Sadie. What do you need to see to feel that we're making progress?
Well, for me, this is a deep thought, because while you guys were talking, I was thinking about there's a saying called, if you can't beat them, join them. Right now, if you can't beat them, kill them. I say that because for thousands of years, they've been trying to get rid of us, kill us, remove us from the spotlight, and we're still here. And at this point in time, there's nothing else they can do but get rid of us. And it's from taking Africa to coming here and bringing the slaves here. It's just so many things that they've tried to get rid of our race, and it hasn't worked. And I think after a while, people get frustrated, and I think it's time to say, you know what? They got to go somehow, some way. And the only way that's going to be stopped is, like she said, we got to come together. We got to come together as a race, as a people, and also as a human beings, because these cases are few, and there might be many out there because now you have a camera and all that, so you can see more. But I think the right people need to stand up. The 99%, whatever amount of people that's out there that's doing a good thing, to stand up and come together. And more and more we see. I know last week we were discussing the march, went out of jail, and there were white people who came up front. But now we're seeing that people are coming together for that. Is that positive? Is that negative? We're not, it's still undecided. But we need to come together and support and love each other and stop hurting ourselves. And that's the only way I think it's going to work.
What are your thoughts, Sadie? You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want to touch back on what I want to see in the arts, like in the music. While we were talking, and the woman who called in from Colombia, she mentioned that it was 15 women who organized that walk to the government, and they walked 4 days, and they walked up to the government place, and I just wanted to make note that women were very prominent, especially during the civil rights movement. Although we had our Martin and Malcolms in the front line, women were the main ones who were really organizing. And so I think it's time for women and our men to stand up. And also, I just want to, what came to my mind was Billie Holiday, Strange Fruit. I know me, I've been like, okay, where's Rihanna, where's Beyonce? They might tweet something, but, is your music reflecting the social issues that our people are dealing with? And, Billie Holiday's Strange Fruit, that was
Or Marvin Gaye, what's going on? I mean,
right.
we could name a list of songs that came out.
So I just want to see more of that reflected in these big time, these big artists that we support so much who are on the top charts.
Yeah.
I want to see them really, their music reflecting these issues.
Yeah. Or, Public Enemy, Chuck D, he's still doing some great stuff. Give Me the Pride that he has with Mavis Staple that's out now is really, really some good stuff. But for me, it still goes back to what is it going to take for them to see us as human beings? What do we need for that to happen? Because right now they're not seeing us as such. So that alone gets in the way of what they're seeing.
Right.
When you have Darren Wilson saying that Michael Brown is a demon and they're calling Eric Gardner a giant, those are animal terms, so they're not seeing them as human beings. So we need to regroup, but I also think we need to take care of ourselves. We need to love each other. We need to embrace each other. And we need to not leave it up to other people to tell us we're beautiful, that we are loved, that you are a king, that you are a queen. We need to start owning it and wearing it, and whoever's uncomfortable with it, that's on them.
Right.
I'm a queen. I don't know about you, but I'm going to move that way. I'm going to speak that way because that is what we come from, and we need to sort of honor that. So I want to take a quick break and then come back, and we're going to close out. And both of you and Hassan and I, we're going to pick one kind act for the week that stands out for us. And I have so many. So, because I pay attention to a lot of those things. And also to let you know that what next week's show is going to be the last show for the season before coming back for the new year. And we're going to talk about how do we care for ourselves? How do we heal? How do we love ourselves? It's all about love next week. So we're going to take a break and we will be right back.